I think we're finally done working with all this plastic and rubber and oil and whatnot stuff happening over here, and it seems to be functioning sort of kind of somewhat well. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Captain of Industry. I do apologize for not putting out any videos for the last couple of days, or at least the last couple of scheduled days. I had family over, and given the current work schedule and the way things have been going on, it's been kind of hard to keep up with various things. But we are back. They went home. They've enjoyed themselves. We had a good time. I've since gone ahead and I guess to continue on with some updates here, we need to click the button. I just turned the machine on. We did do a couple of researches in between episodes. I did the Medical Supplies 3 as well as I opened up Consumer Electronics. We're going to have to play with some of that here fairly soon. I think we could probably actually make good use of it. But for what it's worth for right now, I went ahead and turned this line on as far as using this oil source. So we are currently working off of what I would say is a semi-renewable source of oil. And by semi-renewable, I mean it's going to be kind of dependent on itself, at least for the way things go, because we are going to need the ammonia that will be coming out of here, which is kind of the reason why I did this contract. I wanted to make sure we had way too much ammonia. So that's because of the fact that we're going to need ammonia to keep our fertilizer plants up and working, so we can continue to feed our small little batch of farms, so we can make the food packs, these little things in here, so that we can sell them to our neighbors, so we can continue to produce oil. So it is, like, again, fairly renewable, fairly decent cycle, and is one of those things you don't have to worry too much about so long as you keep this full. The plastic and rubber is working very well. We, again, like I said, did a bunch of research, and nothing broke for once, which was kind of nice. I haven't had a chance to not break something for a little while. Granted, we were only running 2 labs for the entirety of the time that we were doing it, mainly because I was just kind of sitting there making sure that everything was functioning correctly. And yes, it does seem like we're okay. There's still a little bit of a flicker in here as this thing spins up occasionally, and well, we need to kind of start being a little concerned about this. As well, we're going to have to start being a little careful about here. We're getting close to the point where I'm going to have to start really considering doing a little bit more modification over here. I did move the other storage that was right here over, just because it looks a little better. We'll be able to, well, once we get a little bit more, well, once this thing becomes full, I've got a deal here set to notify me when it does become full. We will then be able to then just chuck a belt thingy onto here somewhere. I think it's going to be right there. Which one is the input? Input is here. I will just chuck an input on here, and then I'm going to make sure that's just set just alone. What we'll do is we'll just chuck an input on that, and then we'll rotate this belt so that it feeds the other direction, and then that will just plug into this. Now, we're going to end up having a bunch of spent MOX fuel before the time comes that we're going to be able to reprocess it, and it may end up being that we may have to do a little bit more moving of things over here. We may have to do some of that. It's fine, but for now, everything seems to be working. We still seem to have plenty of power. I haven't had to turn this on, and that's a good thing. So what we need to do today is we need to do, I guess, some more projects, some more little projects, and by little I mean it's going to cause us some problems if we do not get after it. So I've been kind of laying some sketches down, and it's time to start thinking about it. So we have been running we've been running a little bit of boost on our trash production as well as our wastewater treatment production for wastewater treatment plants for our settlement. And this is a big problem because, well, if we want to grow any more than what we currently have as far as people are concerned, we're going to need to be able to, well, make this work a little better. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do that today. We're going to work on waste products for our settlement. We're going to do a little bit of rejigging and cleaning up of some of this mess over here today because we need to. And then hopefully we should be able to go forward with all of our little problems and processes as the way that they continue on. There's going to be some more work that needs to be done, but for the most part, I've kind of just sketched it out. And essentially what I've done is I've doubled what we've done here. Haven't built it because there's still probably a few little problems we're going to have. I'm going to continue to try to keep this line running through here, but I do think it's probably going to be kind of a cut through little section right here. This is going to go away shortly. All of this right here is going to go away shortly, and we're probably going to need to start thinking about doubling up on at least, well, we'll see. We'll see how the fluid storage or the fluid works, or the production for the, what is this stuff called? Chlorine goes. We may or may not be making enough, but we will see. Now, with the maths and the things that are going on, I've already kind of moved a couple of things around so that we can get to where we need to go. With what we're going to do, we're going to have to do a little bit of looking at how this all goes. So right now, where we stand as far as things go, I need to keep this up because, yeah, we're still a little bit behind on doing things. We're gonna have to probably add a few more wheat farms into the process because it's definitely eating through our wheat for our oil. But that's fine. It's okay. Anyhow, the numbers that are going to be interesting to be understood here, I suppose, and I guess we should dig into those numbers, is I guess we can start with... Which one did I want to start with? I might want to start by doing the first thing, which is going to be, I need you to get built because we're going to move the water. Oh, I was going to say, why did you do that? It's fine. I'm going to move the water connection from here over to there. Can I get to that thing, or am I going to have to move that? Can we do that, or are you going to get mad at me? No, see, this is one of those things. It's not happy about the connector because there's a connector right here. Why is there a connector right there? Oh, because we went from a 3 to... No. You guys upgrade that pipe, please. Just go ahead, upgrade that pipe. Please. At least to over there. Now, will that make that connector go away once it builds? Pick it up to 3. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. Now, I did that because, well, yeah, that's one of those deals. Okay, so we do need to get this connected from here to there. I don't care about that little pipe. That's fine. Go ahead, build that. That'll be all right. And then what we need to do is we need to move a few things around. I know I have this kind of built right now based on some of the water production that's around. We're going to have to change some of that, but that's kind of some just later on kind of deals. Anyhow, the math that I need to kind of talk about, it's pretty simple, easy math as far as things go. I mean, you can verify things that are happening right now, like say total settlement production demand for water is 214 for the current amount of people that we have. And for the total settlement production here, it's 278, 280 almost as far as waste production. Now, I think I might have screwed up a little bit because I think I started hiring people again after I did the math the last time. Did I? No. Okay. So right now we have, I believe it's up to here, correct? 14 settlements that we can kind of do a little bit of math with as far as this goes. Now, I'm pretty sure there's probably a little calculation for some of this somewhere. But what we can say is for 14 settlements full of people, we're using 214 water per minute. So we're going to do a little bit of goofing in here. The water per minute's not a big deal because we're just going to be adding on a little bit more water to our water production facility because of the math that I've kind of already done. And I want to go through the math with you guys. Our first big process here is going to be, we're going to upgrade, well, we're going to do a upgrade, which is going to be about double what we're currently doing because of the fact that at 278.5 times 14, so if we are divided as 178.5 divided by 14 is roughly 12.75 of the wastewater per minute per settlement. Well, if we're going to say all said and done total, I believe we have 21 sitting here. That's kind of what this number should look like as far as those go. So if we take this number, excuse me, and I lost my number, 178.5 divided by 14. This is all simple, easy math. So 12.75 times 21. That's 267.75 total as far as what should come out of here for the wastewater or the thing that we're going to have to care about. 267. Well, flat out, these do 160. That's pretty simple. It's 2 of them. We'll be running slightly under what 2 can do, and if we need to, we should be able to adjust a couple of things and maybe add some more on. If we need any more people, and this is going to be the thing, if we need any more people, we will be building a settlement elsewhere and trucking food to them. It may end up being that we move them up here. I know I've been saying I wanted to build farms up there, but we're going to need to at least get this going so we can get some of this stuff back because we're currently burning a decent amount of boost on all 4 of those things to try to get it going. Plus, we could be utilizing a little bit more of our resources, i.e. the steam that's coming off of this thing. So anyhow, this is generally what I think we're going to do here. So I have already kind of laid this out as far as what will happen. We're going to turn the wastewater around, and we're going to do a little bit of goofiness here. I think hopefully it'll work. Hopefully it'll work, because theoretically this is going to be using 214. These will be returning. Okay, so our number has to be simple. If we're going to do 176.75, we need to divide that number. Let's just roll that up to 268. You know what? For better, even better, 270 divided by 160 is 1.69. 1.69 times 120 is how much water we're going to be getting. So 202 water should be returned back out of these things as they run. So 202 water is going to then come out of this system into, come on game, hey, catch up, into this balancer here with a priority in on this side to immediately just go right back in where it came from. So we're going to have to do a little bit of flipping around of pipes once they get everything built, and we're going to have to change some stuff. I keep saying saline, it's not saline. Chlorine is going to move around, and I think what will probably happen is once we get this torn out, I might double down or put a little bit more chlorine down, because we are still going to be using a fair amount of water coming over here, but we're going to at least try to feed back in as much water immediately as we're putting into these. So I think for now we can go ahead and turn on a few of the things that need to get built, i.e. this horrifically nasty pipe, because it has to come from all the way the heck over here. Once we get a little bit more of this other stuff done and this goes away, I'm going to clean this line up. We have a lot of things that need to move and change, and I believe I was in the process of trying to get some of this stuff ported in, but we'll do that. All right, so you guys go ahead and just unpause all of this for now, and I'll let them build it. We're going to turn all of these off for the minute, because I think we're going to have to get some more people. But this whole entire thing here should be enough at least for the moment to be able to maintain this entire settlement for the rest of the time that we're playing this game, unless something else becomes adjustable to where we can build things. So we'll let those build those guys, and then we'll get to the next step. Okay, so the other thing that I needed to do, and I was going to kind of wait on it, but I think we'll probably just do it anyway. We're going to take this to about... Yeah, I think I'm still going to wait on it, because we are going to need to power these with the leftover materials that we're going to be getting. And I do want to install a tank specifically for their power source to keep them all happy. So I think we'll probably put something about right here. Now that line right there is going away. This one is in the incorrect place. I kind of want to build all of this right off here. These are going to need how much water? Not a whole lot. Why don't you guys downgrade and downgrade, and then turn around and turn around, and then I'm just going to grab you. Will you allow me to connect there, and you can come down here? That'd be very nice. Oh, why did I do that twice? We don't need this one. Go away. Thank you. I do love this. Oh, we have to build a pillar someplace. There. We'll do that for now. All right, so then the next step I think I wanted to do... Yeah, I kind of want this right behind here. We're going to end up probably pumping this tank into there once the time comes, but this can go to there, and then we'll just do something simple like that and that. Cool. And then I'll bring, as I said, I'm trying to figure out whether I wanted that tank on this side or that side, because we are going to, essentially what we want to do is we want to build pressure over here, bring it this direction and down into this first, into that tank first here, and then whatever's left needs to go over here and then over there. So, yeah, I probably put the tank on the wrong side, didn't I? Can I get through here without making an ugly mess, or am I going to have to go around the outside? I think that looks pretty good. Just keep going, and then we'll go under the wastewater pipe, because that wastewater pipe is actually going to go away, isn't it? Hang on. Now, before you get excited, that wastewater pipe is going to go away. All right, I suppose then we can turn this on. Now the math looks better. I think I have a better idea. So let's go ahead and turn these on. And everybody go to work. Okay, and then I want to do a rotate on you, and that should turn both of those around to head that direction. I want to pause. Let's see here. Where is it? I need to delete that segment right there. Okay. Actually, I don't know why I keep doing that. I keep doing that. Cancel deconstruction. Turn the pipe around so that whatever's in that goes over there. Okay, we need a few people, but we're not going to hire them just yet, because we're just going to go wait on this to empty. You're empty for the most part. Good. Pause, pause, pause. And so I only need a couple of people. Hire in, and I know I still am being lazy. I'm doing this on purpose. Once we get everything figured out and the rest of the next big project started, we'll just go ahead and hire, just turn people on and let them do the work. So, all right, are we going to be working? My biggest concern here is I wanted to kind of start this project first, because this is going to be a big problem if this doesn't do what it's supposed to do right here. It should. As a point in time, I know you could you can overclock things or boost things. It'd be kind of nice to be able to actually just set like a clock level under. So like you could turn this down and make these things run continuously for less power. I don't know. It's too much satisfactory at that point in time to think about it. But all right, now the next thing I need to do before we get too silly. Why are you mad? No reason. They're just mad. Just the random cycles of in and out things just doesn't make sense. The next thing I want to do is we're also going to disable this thing. We are done with the biomass collection for now. For the foreseeable future, we are done with the biomass collection coming out of our settlement. This is not worth, at this point, the people waste or the energy waste on our system. Now, I understand that's going to mean that they're going to make a little bit more trash. And so I've already kind of figured out the system for that. We're going to need to let this run for a couple of minutes so we can do the math. But essentially, we're going to be doing 3 of the incineration plants, because with that added amount of trash coming in, if we give it a couple of minutes, like I said, while we're cleaning things up, we'll be able to do the math again. With the added amount of trash coming out of here because of the fact we are now collecting the biomass, this is going to run just a little bit more, which means it's going to produce a little bit more steam, which we will be able to eventually process into this kind of a thing over here. So let me make sure we have everything. Yeah, I need to clean up a little bit of piping now that we're not using it. I'll get right back with you guys. Goodbye. The other thing I think we're probably going to look at, or at least worry about for right now, is I'm going to go ahead and put another one of these down as a reminder, because I do believe the numbers were going to be bad enough we were going to need 3 of them, right? So let's go ahead and don't hit R all the way to the top, and just go past it for now. And you down into there. Okay. Yeah, if I read that, if I remember correctly, what was it, 270? We'll only ever be able to do 240 with these because the amount max is 120. So we're actually kind of getting a little close as it sits. So I suppose I probably should just go ahead and have them build that as well because we don't want our numbers to be screwed up. But that should take care of the wastewater. However, we are now in trouble with this thing because it's almost full. All right, so now we need to run the line back over here. Somewhere. And now we're in trouble. Okay, I need to stop doing what we were doing now that we know everything is good. And we'll connect about right there. I'm going to run that Can I go over the top of you? The minutes. No. Let's just do under. One more. And then we'll go. I think we'll just go right under this one for right now. Run that all the way along. Do not connect anything. It should work because there's nothing there. And then kick it up one. All the way over to here. Don't connect anything. Let me see. We're going to get rid of a good portion of this because the trash line is going to move, and I'm probably going to move. I say we just come over here for right now, go to there, and then we do this nice line right there, right into the back of this. Down. And then will you guys be so kind as to build that tank and that tank for us, please? And then what we're going to do is I'll probably build a... Well, somewhere in there. For right now, this is going to be how we keep these fed. So I suppose when we're at it, go ahead and build all of this too, please. So what's going to happen here, we're going to take the trash coming out of that system, drop it into these incinerators. They're going to produce a little bit of steam and a little bit of other couple of things, a little bit of steam and a little bit of exhaust. The steam is going to travel across the pipes over there into our water delivery system and go into a priority splitter. They're going to be a priority in for right now. The exhaust is going to go into an exhaust scrubber that is going to take the exhaust, of course, and turn that into some sulfur. And in the future, we may decide to change. I don't need so many. You can get paused. I think we only need 2 for right now. In the future, we're probably going to take the steam load that's coming out of here, and feed it into this water system over here. But for the moment, theoretically, even with 2 of these, we're going to be doing, what is that, 36 water? And these are going to need steam. Excuse me, 36 divided by 12 is 3, right? Yes. So we'll be able to at least keep 3 of these running all of the time. But when we get the 4th one going, that's going to be a decent amount of steam. So we'll either be, third one. It's going to be a decent amount of steam that we can either make these run through here, or we can, again, like I said, take one of these, plug it into this thing, and use that as some excess water. Again, I don't want to be throwing away a lot of things, and the water that we're producing over here is, got to remember, goes into this settlement as well as making the food for our people. We're at least not making oil with it anymore. So that drained that out nicely. Beautiful. We're going to put an alarm on you to say notify if full. That's fine. Full is fine. It shouldn't fill up. Theoretically, it should not fill up. All right, so you guys... I don't want you to keep that full because it shouldn't matter anymore. Let's get the trash rerouted over here. So this water line, this is when it's going to get a little screwy because we're going to have to do a little bit of finagling that I don't want to do. So this water line is still connected over to here and running into here, so that means I can delete that one. Playing Jenga. Okay. This is going to get connected and drug this direction. Kind of like what we're seeing there. And we'll just copy right on top of that pipeline, run it this direction, and then it needs to go... And this is when I knew I screwed up when I did all that. Well, I mean, I didn't really screw up. We can just do some funkiness with it. Let's do some funkiness. We like funky. I don't mind funky. Which side do we need to go? That one? Just because you put pipes in the way doesn't mean you can't do anything else. The only reason I'm doing that is because I kind of like to keep this a little tight. All right, so then this will come from here. All the way to the side of that tank, and then we'll come around here. That looks all right to me. And then you're going to go to there. Will you go over that tank? Oh, amazing. That means I can do this. And then you go... Ah, crap, never mind. Just one drop is fine. Is that the right height? That should be the right height. You just go this way. Into there. There. And there. And then you guys... Pause all of that, please. And then we need to add bottoms to the bottom. Still have it pointed the wrong direction. Love it. Please go the right way. Now you're putting trash in the incinerator. All right, trash and incinerator. Incinerator is functioning. Beautiful. Okay. So we should be making this now. Good. And then the steam should be coming off of these. Sometime today. All right, and then it gets dumped into the system over here and helps make water for us. Beautiful. Okay. Rotate that pipe. Okay, so these are going to eat, right now they're going to eat 12 of that per minute. At max, these should be making, well, probably way more than that, maybe. Yeah, I can see I'm going to need to do a little bit more rejigging of piping, but that's fine. You guys are still working. We're not backed up on poo yet, are we? No, we're good, we're good, we're good. Things look fine. As long as you're getting all the water you're supposed to get and we're not having a problem with anything backing up, then we can let this sit just a couple of seconds, because that belt needs to go now. That pipe can go, that pipe can go, that pipe can go. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Anything over there can go. That can go. This can all go. You can get out of here and get delivered. You can get... I'm not even worried about it. This is throwaway stuff at this point. Trash, trash, trashed. Trashed, trashed. I'm going to have to move that pipe because it's annoying, but we can at least clean that up after the fact. This can go. That can go. The boiler water no longer needs to be that big of a pipe, so we can go ahead and downgrade you. Not that it really matters at this point, but there we go. Now we're kind of getting cleaned up, organized. I will probably just drag that straight that direction, huh? That looks like a good thing. There. Sure. Unpause that. And we'll just probably break it right there. Okay. And then we'll just turn this one around. All right, well, we're going to let a couple of things run for a second here while we figure out the rest of this stuff, but I do need to build a new pipe through here. I'm going to let that one clean out, and I will be right back with you guys. Well, I made them mad to let the tank get full, and all this stuff's backed up, so we have to kind of do some really quick stuff. I tossed in a balancer right here. I need to go ahead and just have them build this pipe to here and there. That pipe is going to run over to our... to this boiler, and it is going to be used to get rid of the excess so that we shouldn't have to have too much of a problem anymore once that gets built up. And if it does end up coming too much, we'll flare it off for right now. Now, what I think I'm probably going to do is I used to have a line that ran from here over to here to help kind of feed these tanks, just to kind of keep them going. And I may end up doing that depending on if I see this flare running or not. So that should... get everybody running. And there goes the wastewater. Slowly. Okay. I think we ought to be good now. As soon as those catch up, because again, right now this is going to way overrun what it needs to do. And that should be all we should need to worry about for now. So I'll set this one to not have any kind of a route. It'll slowly bleed off into this network here and deliver over to there. I do not want you running right now. Pause. Because we have too much. All right, so I do expect this tank to be empty for the most part once it finally calms down and settles out. We should be okay. So, yes. Now, as far as the numbers for the trash, I realize I didn't say anything about those, so we'll go ahead and do that now that we've had a couple of months to run this. So, waste. Waste production currently, if we notice right when we turned that up, we went from being about 167 or 200, total production. So, we went from being about 167, 168, to 220, pretty solid. Now 220, once again, 220 divided by 14 is going to be about 15.71 per settlement. Now if we do we'll just do an easy one. So 21 times 16 is 336 waste per minute that we should see eventually. So 336 divided by 144, once again, will be 2.3 or 2 1/3. So that's why we're going to have 3 of these in here, and we should be capable of running them most of the time, or at least 2 of them most of the time. Now the last thing I probably will do is I probably will run this exhaust from this particular boiler back over to here, because it will eventually need to run. But for right now, what we are for the most part doing, or at least, well, we should be running 3 of these off of, well, actually probably not even at this point. We should be running output full. You shouldn't be output full. Right. I need to redo the priority here. Well, we need that to burn off for the moment. We just need to burn that off for the moment. There's going to be a little bit of back and forth that I'm going to have to do right now. We do need this to go away. And if it's not going away, we're going to be in trouble, because I don't feel like flaring too much of that junk off. Why don't you pause this? And I may have to build a chimney. I mean, I guess. I really hate to waste steam, especially steam I make with this thing. I suppose we probably should have built a thing over here. Let's go ahead for just a second. I'm going to grab one of these, because we don't want things to back up. We do not want people, not happy. So we'll grab one of those right there. Make that go away. I really need to quit canceling things, especially when it's just going to instantly get deleted. Thank you. I would like one of these. Can you copy for me, please, before everything stops working? Okay. And then I'm just going to grab a short pipe. Doesn't even matter what kind of pipe. It's going to just need to bleed off the excess off of this system. And your priority is not this one, but that one. Okay, and then that should help us get rid of some of this stuff. Make sure our trash doesn't back up. Go ahead, turn this on because you screwed up once again. All the little things that tend to get you as you're playing along. At least we didn't fill up our trash. We're good there. Okay, fine. We'll let this run, and then we should be burning this. How are we doing for water? Does look like it's functioning. And you guys don't need to keep that full. I don't know why I had that set that direction. Cool. Why don't you do the fun thing then? Upgrade that, please. We'll add a little bit more storage. It won't hurt anything. That should make all 4 of those run. Maybe. And I guess we could go ahead and turn this on too. I may end up having to run that over there. I'm rather surprised. I figured we'd be... Well, we're still probably backed up a little bit, aren't we? No, they're not. They should have caught up by now. All right, we should be all right. That should take care of the work there. I think the only issue is going to be the eventual need to maybe upgrade this pipe, but I think that's actually all enough, the stuff that it needs. The water should be coming in. That should be fine. I think we're good enough here as far as those going for capping out completely. Yes, those should never get any more than that. It's not a whole lot of stuff. Again, it is not a whole lot of this, and I don't expect much to come out of it as it goes. But that should... That actually looks a little better, and that'll give us a little bit more room should we need to be able to do this again. You know, if I decide I want to add more housing over here, say. But I think I can go ahead and tear all of this stuff out now. We don't need it. And I think we can kind of let stuff run for a little while and see how it goes. Because we should, hopefully next time, be able to dig into some other little fun and interesting things, I hope. So I guess for now, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm going to call that. Our waste production coming out of our settlement should be taken care of for the most part. I might move this guy over here just to kind of make it make a little more sense, because, you know, that looks a little better, but that's going to require a little bit of finagling and finagling and things and stuff. And I might even, for that matter, move these guys down here. But, you know, it is what it is at this point. I'm not really concerned about it. Anyhow, I will see you all later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.